Hello to my lecture and to every classmates. So this is our assessment 1 under the subject of future focus management. So this is the assessment that we are going to talk about what is our work and to show our roles on this assessment. So throughout this assessment it is leading by me. My name is Jasper, accordingly to John, Jeremy and Michelle. Going on next is the introduction of module. The introduction of module is explaining about what is the learning outcomes of what we have going on in apply on our assessment. So this is actually a literature part. So in our introduction of module, we have applied sustainability, future and foresight, and scenario planning, which is also based on our assessment modules. So the sustainability, it is sustainable is under a triple bottom line framework, which are able to which are the economy, social, and environmental. They are also known as the three pillars of sustainability. So what is the most focal point on sustainability? It can be the VUCA point, which is the complexity, ambiguity, the uncertainty, and volatility. So going on next is the future and foresight. The future and foresight, it is defined as doing research, explore methods and tools to develop foresight capacity. So on to actually ask us to request us to doing research, doing explore, and doing how we apply the tools on our assessment and everything else. And the scenario planning is the one that is we are going to explain further on. It is the three teams which has across 12 methods to further analytical on issue or scenario. Three teams stands for explore, create alternative futures, and understand implications. So explore, it can be the driver mapping, it can be the verge, and create alternative future, it can be the 2x2 scenario, the archetypes, and understand implication, it could be the roadmap or backcasting method and other else. So going on is the definition of future and foresight. So the definition of future and foresight is actually important. So this module actually is the it actually generate the issues for the future. So we are using this for our assessment 1, which is a requirement. So in our assessment 1, we're using this four steps to improve the planning, strategies, vision, building. So what is the planning thing, or what we're doing this thing is actually there are 4 steps going on, which is the short-term planning, the medium term, the foresight and strategy, and building vision. So it is going on. So there is shown in notes, but the notes can be provided if request later on. So the STIP analysis also a tool which is important for using to marketing to evaluate different external factors or drivers. So the STIP format, also known as the society, technology, economy, environment, and politics. So next on is the sustainability theory. So the sustainability theory is actually to raise awareness of level, insights, and functionality of sustainability. It's actually asking us to request on how we going on to apply environmental challenge on our industry. So the key areas that we are going to discover is the electric vehicle industry, or Tesla. So the 4 major issue of sustainability theories could be the EV, get grips on climate change, the industry on environmental, and Tesla, how it focuses on its willingness to recycling all batteries, and also how it using renewable energy on all sector operation and more. So next one is the case. The case is more on to like physical issue or physical case. So we can see that case is actually it is saying that the Tesla, it could be the EV industry by now, but there is a force of transformation. That is means that Tesla is by now is strong, but in the future what may change to Tesla. So we have finding like what can the issue of it. It can be the policy of government, the future outlook, and how the shareholder rank in automaker, the return sales growth and long-term shareholder value, and how it implement on the charging station on worldwide. So this charging station is actually important because it is implicated with the economy and also the politics of the country. So overall, I'm going to bring a short summary is that we apply the tools which is on the future and foresight. The pros that we are going on for these tools is that we are more able to identical what's going on to the issue of electric vehicle, and the cons probably will be maybe we have a miscount, or maybe we will have lost out some parts of the generic issue that we are going on. So this is by me. thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass it to Michelle. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to talk about Expo. So, Expo is one of the team which including driver mapping, Verge, Future Wheel, and SWOT. But today we're going to talk about driver mapping and Verge. So, the definition of Expo is that to investigate, study, analyze, and develop it. In another way, means that to make or conduct a systematic research. So, the next slide. The driver mapping. So focal issue in driver mapping is the electric vehicles. So the electric vehicle is one of the major transport in now, which in the 21st century. For the society, there is three drive. The first one is the affordability of consumers. The second one is change in consumer mindset, and the third one is change in demographic. And for the technology, the first drive is electrical engine. The second is the technological awareness of, the second is the technological awareness on EV. The third one is the new innovation, and the last one is the charging station convenience. And for the economic, the first drive is the economic growth on electric vehicle industry. The second is the change of purchasing power on electrical vehicle. And the third one is the consumer confidence. And from the environment, the first drive is the pollution. The second is the topsoil level. And the third one is the resources. And the last one is the climate change. And last for the policy drive is the foreign trade of EV. And the second one is the trade restriction. And the last one is the unions construction worker. Move on to the next slide. The prioritization matrix. Okay, so from the matrix above, we identify that the society as one has the highest impact and highest uncertainty. It is because if consumers are not able to afford electric vehicles will be facing difficulty to become the main choice for consumer. And when they come to purchasing a vehicles. Okay, so based on our research, we we found out that there are 21% of consumers do not intend to buy electric vehicle in the next 5 years. And next, we categorize society as two in the lowest impact and lowest uncertainty because electric vehicle will be a trend in the future. Consumer mindset will not affect the trend of the world moving toward to the electrical vehicle era. Okay, on our research, as many as 40 million Americans say that they will at least consider a battery electric vehicles. So next we move to Verge. We have identified two issues. The first one is the consumer lack of curiosity, which many consumers are not sure what to expect from an electric vehicle as they don't have the knowledge and also the information about the electric vehicles. And the second one is the consumer transition will take some time. So means that time is needed for consumers to move from petrol and diesel vehicle, which they need to take time for them to adapt the electrical vehicle. So let's move to the last part. And okay, so for this we set the scenario as achieving global use of electric vehicle by 2050, and the time horizon is analyzing the change between 2021 to 2049. For the connect is the technology awareness on electrical vehicles. For the consume is the new innovation, and for the create is the topsoil level. For the destroy is the pollution, and for the uncertainty we have identified the cost of EV and also the electric and also the vehicle energy innovation. For the opportunity is to provide more jobs opportunity to global society and electrical vehicle industry. For the last one is the risk, the threat on personal privacy data. So that's all for my part. I will pass the next part to John.
My name is John, and I'll talk about the second theme of this work, which is to create alternative future. This theme is to create a different future based on the impact of drivers and aim at exploring the limits of possibility of the future, creating equally probable, not normative scenarios, and increase awareness and learning about the possible future. Next, I will talk about the first model of this theme, which is the archetype. So we identify the focal issue for archetype is the charging station for electric vehicle, and the driving force will be a charging station convenience. So according to our research, we value that the driver is going upward, and according to a report from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, during the first 3 months of 2020, the public electric vehicle supply equipment, which is also another term of charging station, had grew 7.6% in the first 3 months of 2020. Hence, for the scenario title, we identify the scenario as the charging infrastructure are available worldwide, and the archetype for this scenario will be a growth archetype. So this is a world in which charging infrastructure will become the major factor for electric vehicle to become the first choice of people when considering to buy a vehicle in the future. And this scenario is shaped by this driver, which is the charging station convenience. The availability of charging station worldwide will provide convenience for electric vehicles owners and thus encourage more people to consider electric vehicles for their next purchasing of vehicle. Next, I will talk about the second model for the team, which is the branch analysis. We identify the focal issue for branch analysis is the electric vehicles. And the time horizon for the branch analysis we identify between 2021 to 2049. And there is two events we have come up with, which is event 1, the growth in the sales of EV, and event 2, the EV's battery pack price drop. So for event 1, the global EV sales, which is the electric vehicle sales, rose a dramatic 65% from 2017 to 2018 for a total of 2.1 million vehicles, with sales figures steady through 2019. And we come up with two outcomes, which is outcome A, EV, which is also known as electric vehicle, will hit 58% of global passengers, which will happen approximately year 2040. And the next outcome B, the battery technology for electric vehicle will improve, which will happen in around 10 years. And then the second event, which is the EV's battery pack price drop. The battery packs for electric cars check off a milestone has slid under $100 per kilowatt hour. And we come up with two outcomes for this event. Outcome A, electric vehicles become less expensive, which is may happen around 10 years. And the second outcome, automakers can sell electric vehicles for profit, which also might happen around 10 years. The template of both, we identify the event 1 as our scenario title, which is the growth in the sales of EV. So this is a world in which the global sales of EV increase every year, where its sales rose a dramatic 65% from 2017 to 2018, with sales figures steady through 2019. This shows that there is an increase of purchasing of electric vehicle by publics, and shows that more people are starting considering electric vehicles to become their next vehicle. Next, key events from today is the global passenger for electric vehicles will hit at 10% of global passengers vehicle sales by 2025, and rising to 28% in 2030 and 58% in 2040, which is more than sales in today. Besides that, in around 10 years, there will be an improvement in battery technology, which may cause the price of electric vehicles to drop, where people started to able to afford electric vehicles for their next vehicle choices. So this will end my part, and I will proceed the next part to Jeremy.
Hello, my name is Jeremy and I'll be presenting about understanding implications. Implication is something that is inferred, and this is used to infer the previous steps, which is Tesla's alternative future. Our method that we are using is roadmap. Roadmap is a planning technique to support strategic and long-term planning. So this is our roadmap. We are using the timeline. Our issue is that consumer transition to electrical vehicles will take some time. As for the current condition, electrical vehicles usage is far less than regular vehicles right now, and the intermediate condition is that electrical vehicles usage will increase by time because technology is still growing, and the future condition is that we hope to achieve more electrical vehicles on the road compared to regular vehicles. The second condition is that consumers will not consider using electrical vehicles. This is also same because the technology right now is not advanced enough, making consumers not to consider about using electrical vehicles. And in the future, we hope that consumers might get electrical vehicles in the future because of the benefits and the reliability and the modern technology. And as for the third current condition is electrical vehicles costs are very high, which is also a major point for consumers to not transition to electrical vehicles. And the intermediate condition is that electrical vehicles costs may be cheaper in the future because battery prices are also dropping in the future. We are hoping to have, and as for the future, we hope to have more affordable vehicle choices for consumers to choose from in the electrical vehicle side. So this is the continuation of our roadmap timeline. We have chosen 3 years for this timeline, which is 2021, 2031, and 2041. As for the event that will happen in 2021, which is renewable energy is continuing to grow, and for 2031, by the year 2030, petrol and diesel vehicles would be banned in the UK, and 2041 electrical vehicles on the road are expected to be 323 million. Next would be the conclusion and recommendation of our presentation. As for the conclusion, electrical vehicles would have a good chance for growth in the future. This is because renewable energy trend is continuing to grow and technology is going to be more advanced in the future. And secondly, electrical vehicles are expected to be more common in the future, which is the expected number of electrical vehicles on the road. And the third is that the government is also encouraging users of electrical vehicles in the future. So 3 of these conclusions are linked with our roadmap, and for the recommendation to increase market for electrical vehicles would be, as a electrical vehicle company, we will extend the warranty period for electrical vehicles bought by our consumers. And then secondly, we will increase choices of selection for electrical vehicles. This is because currently choices for electrical vehicles are really low and it is quite expensive, which really makes consumers to consider whether it is worth it or not. And then thirdly, we will implement suitable marketing strategies for consumers to persuade them about using electrical vehicles. Lastly, these are all the references that we have used for our presentation. Thank you.